What's up, everybody? The Longevity Game podcast is on the air. All right, guys. What's happening, everybody? Tonight, it is night. We are going to talk briefly about some longevity hacking. All right, and this is going to be cool because I am really interested in longevity, and there's lifespan and there's healthspan, and I've talked about this before, but lifespan is the length of time you're alive, right? Well, healthspan is the length of time in that life that you're healthy, right? And so if you want to slow down aging, especially at the cellular level, science says that there's three main pathways that determine how long and how well you live. And so here's how to hack all three. And now stick around because number three is the one that most nobody is talking about, all right? So the first pathway is the mTOR pathway. And mTOR stands for mammalian target of rapamycin pathway. This is the growth pathway. All right. So what it does is it controls growth and reproduction of cells. So if there's too much activation of the mTOR pathway, this equals accelerated aging and disease. All right. So how do you activate it strategically? All right. So on days that you train hard, you want to eat high protein meals, especially leucine rich foods like eggs, beef, and whey isolate. All right. And so when you want to turn it off, you need to be fasting, eat plant-based meals on rest days. And this helps to turn off the mTOR pathway and it promotes longevity. All right. So if you want to hack this, the best way to do that would be alternate between growth days and longevity days. All right. So on growth days, it's all about loading up on protein, leucine-rich foods. Also, you're going to do some carb loading. And then on your off days, like every other day, it's going to be your longevity day, right? And so this is where you're doing fasting. You're eating light meals, right? So very little. You're going to be doing like maybe a 6 to 8 hour feeding window, The next pathway is the AMPK pathway. And this is the energy regulator pathway. And if I could explain it, I would put it like this. Adenosine triphosphate is the cellular energy currency, ATP, right? And once it's used, it's broken down into ADP, which is adenine diphosphate, and then subsequently adenine monophosphate. So as you can tell, the phosphates are removed, causing it to be, and then it's recycled, basically. But so you have adenine triphosphate. It's broken down into or used. One of the phosphates are used. It turns into adenine diphosphate. Then another one is used, and it's called adenine monophosphate. And so if you have a high adenine monophosphate to adenine triphosphate ratio, this means your cells are running low on energy, right? This is when the AMPK pathway or adenine monophosphate activated protein kinase pathway kicks in. It's like an emergency energy manager is what it is, right? And so the way that you can activate this pathway is you use HIIT workouts like high intensity interval training and zone 2 cardio, right? And so zone 2 cardio, so you have different zones. And if you have like an iWatch, if you turn on your exercise guy, where he's running, and you set it to like maybe you're going to do like the stairs or you'll do a run. If you scroll to the left, then you can see which zone that you're working out in. And so the way that this works is zone 1 is whenever you're just, right now I'm in zone 1, I'm not breathing hard. I'm not really working at all, Zone 2 is whenever your heart rate starts to climb, right? But it's not climbing so high that you feel out of breath when you're talking to somebody. You can actually hold a conversation with somebody as you're exercising. As a matter of fact, during zone 2, you're able to comfortably breathe through your nose, right? Whenever you start moving a little faster and you're starting to have to breathe through your mouth, or you really can't have a conversation, you've jumped up to zone 3. And so in zone 2, this is where your body preferentially uses energy from stored fat. And so you're going to start burning fat at a higher rate in zone 2. Okay, so that's zone 2. The way you calculate your zone 2 is you take the number 220, you subtract your age, and then you multiply that number by 0.6, and that gives you your low range. And then you do it again, 220 minus your age, that number times 0.8, and that gives you your high range. Now you have a parameter for your zone 2. And so that's zone 2. All right. And then you want to also, if you want to activate this pathway, high intensity interval training, zone 2 cardio, and then also fasting, right? So fasting 6 to 8, like I said earlier, your feeding window is 6 to 8 hours, and then you're going to be, fasting from 16 to 18 hours, right? And then you can take nutraceuticals like supplements like berberine or resveratrol, or both berberine and resveratrol, and there's also a prescription medication that's been shown to activate the AMPK pathway, and that's metformin. And so if you want to hack this, you want to use berberine and fasted cardio first thing in the morning to jumpstart your APK on your low days, not your lifting days, but your rest days. Basically, you're going to have I wouldn't say it's a rest day, but it's not a building day. It's a longevity day, right? And so you're going to take it easy, a little easier that day. And this is how you're going to activate that AMPK pathway. Now, the third one, most people haven't heard of this. It's called sirtuins. Sirtuins are the longevity genes. And what they do is they protect DNA. They repair cellular damage. They regulate inflammation. All right. And think of these as like your internal anti-aging team. All right. Sirtuins are really, really incredible. The way that you activate sirtuins is you take NAD boosters like NMN, and NMN is nicotinamide mononucleotide, and NR, nicotinamide riboside. These are precursors to NAD+. You could take an NAD+ supplement, but the only NAD+ oral supplement that works is a liposomal NAD+. All the rest of that stuff is junk. All right, so if you're going to take an NAD+ supplement, make sure it's a liposomal NAD+. And I don't know if there's a lot of them out there. So if you're looking for an NAD+, liposomal NAD+ supplement, make sure that you read the reviews, make sure it has third-party testing, all that stuff, right? The supplement industry is just riddled with junk, and you just never know what you're going to get, right? Other things that you can take are injectable NAD+. That's going to work, right? Or you can take an IV infusion of NAD. Some people do that every week, Can be a little pricey, can be a little inconvenient, right? But it does work. And so NAD+ boosters or NAD itself, right? Also, foods rich in polyphenols like blueberries, all right? Another thing is hot and cold therapy. So saunas and cold plunges. Those activate sirtuins, right? And so if you want to activate that, if you want to hack that system, you want to do a stack of sauna plus NAD booster or an NAD+ supplement plus a fasted state. This is a triple sirtuin activation. And so if you can do just one of these things, you're going to see some changes, and you're going to feel better, right? And that's really what it's all about. Healthspan or lifespan and longevity isn't about living forever, but it's about having quality in those years, right? And so that's what it's all about. And so if you can hack this, and you can, as a matter of fact, if you like, I have a longevity pathway blueprint that will help you and give you the perfect blueprint to do a longevity hack. Try it for a month and just see how you feel. That'd be cool. Just what I would suggest is in the comments below, just type in longevity. And if you type in longevity, I will send you via DM the longevity stack blueprint. Yeah. All right. I like that. All right. So that's it, guys. That's it. We're just doing a little quickie tonight. I hope you guys have a great night. And yeah, you guys take care. Follow me. If you're not following me, leave me comments, leave me questions. And that is it, friends. We are out. All right. You guys have a great night.